Welcome to another Quantum Conversation, brought to you by acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this quantum conversation. This is a very special episode of QCTV because we are looking at some very beautiful pieces of art. Literally, it is the creations of Niki, and it's Niki's gem creation. She is here to share with us how she has fully stepped into an encore career based on her passion. And this is a new earth business. Niki, thank you so much for being here. Welcome.
Well, thank you. It's my pleasure. I'm very excited. I've been kind of anticipating this now. And I'm ready to go. I just wanted to give you a little bit of a background about how I got into this.
Yes.
I started selling earrings out of my high school locker when I was a sophomore in high school. So obviously it was part of who I am from probably going back, way back. And then I became really kind of a rock hound and got really into collecting. So I would go to gemstones, and then the end all was when I moved to New Mexico, where a lot of stuff is mined, but also where in the native traditions, rocks and stones and gemstones are just everywhere and used sacredly, and also worn a lot more than, you know, the typical people that I was around. So I was just intrigued by coral and turquoise and pipestone, and the stones that they used, a lot of them were not things that I was that familiar with. So I got into the meanings, and every day, if we would go into town in Santa Fe on the portal, all the native people would be selling their wares. And so I would just walk, my kids and I would walk, and we would just be so intrigued by all of the beautiful stuff, the sculpting and the jewelry and the stones. And so anyway, I continued. Of course, I was a nurse, and I was a hospice nurse. So I went into that career for years, but I continued to collect and collect and collect jewelry and stones and beads and pendants and etc. So that's, once I retired June 1st of this year, I finally got into creating my pieces. And I have kind of gone wild with it because I just can't get enough of it.
Well, what I love the most about it, I'm actually wearing a beautiful piece that you presented, and it's so beautiful. Every piece that you do is one of a kind.
Right.
And you have been with these gemstones for decades. That's really what I love. And it's almost, Niki, like a past life, like you are remembering this. You know, here you were in such great service work, being a hospice nurse, and now you're playing in this field. It's almost like it's perfect timing, isn't it?
Well, and I think that they assisted me in that work as well,
The
because
crystals?
I was surrounded by them. I mean, I have them everywhere in my home. People,
Yeah.
I think I'm kind of a crazy woman, but I have large pieces. I mean, lepidolite was mined in New Mexico, and it was mined in Taos near where I live. I still have pieces that are probably this big that I have kept with me since the 70s. And lepidolite is just such a wonderful stone. It's actually very high in lithium, so it's a very calming stone. And when they used to mine it, the animals would come and just roll in the powder because it's a really soft stone. It would create dust, and the dogs would lay on their backs and roll and then fall asleep in this lepidolite dust. Anyway, I wanted to also say that the stones, in all of their wonderful qualities, of course, and we're talking about everything, you know, from grounding to helping with dream state and prosperity and you name it. I mean, there are stones for everything, but some of the pieces I've been collecting, of course, more recently as well. I go to gem shows. I buy from specific people who I really trust and love. And I also, so I have a mix of things that I've had. I mean, there's some pieces, I created this whole collection just for you. So I have 44 pieces that I created that no one's seen before. So these are all brand new. And some of these that I'm looking at are pieces I've had for probably 25, 30 years.
Niki, I think that is so very special that you have created these for our community. These are actually, when we use them in this way, connecting in with this heart space in our community, they become talismans. They become powerful tools that we can use. So we're going to see some of your beautiful creations. I would like you to also share about prosperity, and maybe some of the pieces that you've got will assist people in that. So as we look at some of these pieces, they are unique, one of a kind. Let's see a few of these beautiful creations that you've got, and we can talk more about how we work with them.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some that I already have displayed. In fact, I'm going to just turn my computer gently and show you, if I move my coffee, and show you this display. Let me see how well you can see these pieces. And then I can bring them close to the camera, and one at a time we can just talk about.
Yes, we also have these images up on our website. Beautiful. Okay, so we see a nice collection there.
Okay, so let's start with one.
Ah, yes.
Close.
This is our version. This QCT version is our version of a shopping QCTV network. Okay.
So you have a good image of this with the light?
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so that's a ruby. That's ruby. And ruby, you know, comes in all variations of I would say purity is probably the best word, but it is a stone of purity. This particular is really all ruby. And then the accent beads that I chose here are lotuses, if you can see them. So this is silver plating and ruby. And the rubies are faceted. And some of the terms that I'll use that are common terms in terms of beads and jewelry are faceted, meaning that every stone has been cut to have sides that will reflect light. So if you can see that, rather than just a round stone, these are all faceted. And then the length on each one, I am going to have to tell people because they do range from 16-inch, which would be more of a choker length, depending on the person, of course. And then I have one piece here that's 22 inches. So it's a very, very long piece. So that is the only really ruby piece that we have today. So people can identify them really that way because for a lot of things, I only have one of in this collection. Now this is very beautiful and very, oh my God, energetically incredible coral branches. And if you can see this is actually just a cut branches of coral that are all different shapes. Some of them you can see the bifurcation where they were double down here in particular. I put those. And then these are pods that have been carved. So this whole thing is organic and has almost no, the only metal is the clasp, but otherwise it's just pure stone.
Oh my gosh, that's the energy of the ocean and the corals.
Right.
And I would think that you could use this to send love to our oceans and the corals and
Absolutely.
assist them as well.
And
Mhm.
in many traditions, coral is considered the representative of the blood of Mother Earth. So it is the coursing blood, the circulation of Gaia, and considered very, very sacred. And you know, coral reefs are, of course, something that we really want to preserve on our planet right now, and are of it. Some places, you know, they're very healthy and prominent now. Other places now they're really struggling. So that's the other thing, is that I think of this, which is probably coral from many, many years ago. The woman that I sourced this from has been 50 years of collecting. I mean, she makes me feel like a kid, because she's been doing this. She's been doing this her whole life, and she's older than I am. And she has the two stones that are really, really hard to get are amber and coral.
It is thousands of years old, the life of
Exactly.
coral. That is beautiful. And I'm aware that it's not so easy to get coral like that anymore.
Right.
So that's a very precious piece. All of these in this collection that you're showing us now, they're in a price point category.
Yeah, the ones that I'm showing you now are 211, and they, you know, they range in length and size, but mostly the pricing is just based on the quantity and the value of the stones themselves when I source them. So this is
Okay.
a Larimar piece. This is the
Oh,
only Larimar piece that I have.
beautiful.
Yeah, and again, when you talk about the oceans, of course, this has a really strong oceanic draw and pull. And this is Larimar Amazonite. And then I have these very funky and very special handmade beads. So when I source beads that aren't stone and are glass or ceramic, I'm very particular. And there's only really 3 types that I generally use, which lamp work is a very special, tedious handmade process. And check beads are considered superior because of their uniformity and the ancient practice of making them by that culture. And then also beads that are carved of bone, all different kinds of bone are another thing that I love to be able to use, or seeds and pods sometimes, as was with the coral. And those are very special to me. So that's the Larimar. And then
We were just talking about Larimar and the dolphin energy within it. So, all
Exactly.
right. Well, there's one unit of that, one piece, one unique piece. All right.
So now this is a very unique and unusual piece with the flower of life. I'm going to come up close so that you can actually see the flower of life in there. And that's a beautiful piece of agate. Now, you know, certain stones, agates and jaspers, are everywhere and very diverse in everything, in color, in the formation, and what you see inside. This is citrine and agate. And then the necklace itself, it's looking like you're getting a lot of reflection. Is that true, that you're getting too much light behind? Because
It's okay. There's a little backlight. There's a window open. So
there's a window. I can close that real quick because it's got a shutter on it. But anyway, this is a pretty, this is what we would call a statement piece here. Of course, this could be worn in ceremony as far as I'm concerned. I mean, this is the type of necklace and adornment that I would wear in, if I was going to do like a solstice ceremony or a drumming circle or some kind of a group meditation or anything like that. And then I have put a hummingbird clasp on this one.
oh, that's
I have
beautiful.
a few of those, but yeah, I just love the little hummingbird inside the wreath. The clasp is a wreath. And these stones are, this is a quartz with citrine, and this is citrine that's in with the agate.
All right, these are beautiful. I love this piece here, the energy from the flower of life. It is quite exquisite. How long is this necklace?
About 18 and a half. So that's kind of a standard. It's actually just about where yours right now is. That would be about 18 and a half. So you kind of go from choker size of 16 to 18, which drops down below the sort of on the plate, the breastplate, and then, you know, longer would be like a 20. And those are the typical lengths, but I make everything in between. Sometimes it depends on the number of stones. Sometimes it's just the design. Yeah, so this one is about 18 and a half inches. So it'll hit below, between the throat and the heart.
You can hold it back up there for a moment.
Okay.
The citrine, you were talking about prosperity.
Yeah,
You can use this
citrine
for
is one of the-
prosperity, and this is a good tool for prosperity because the citrine is a wonderful crystal for that.
Exactly.
And then the quartz too. Do you want to share any info about why or how this could be used for prosperity?
Well, in general, this these stones all, including the flower of life, by the way, which just reminds us of infinity, really, and the fractaling out. And so there's nothing but abundance in the world. And, you know, we're not necessarily programmed to understand and believe that, but the reality is that the flower of life shows us that things are infinite, and that infinity really helps us, I think, to materialize in our own lives what is possible. There is no limitation. And these, this stone, when you're wearing this piece, which I've put on just to feel, you know it's there. I mean, there is no question, but that it's a companion, if you will. It's a companion. It goes with you, and you don't. It's not like just wearing a little chain or something. It's got a significant presence of its own, for sure.
Yes, that is beautiful. Okay, thank you.
So now I'm going to move to a very elegant piece. I just think this piece is, I of course have to have my favorites because that's just the way of it. But this is a particular stone that I happen to really, really love. And I hope that you can get a full effect of the color of this. This is blue lace agate, which is an absolutely incredible blue color of sky blue. And, you know, the blue lace part has to do with the patterns within the stone itself. It really doesn't look like lace to me, but it's all varied patterns of what looks more like cloud formations, that kind of thing. Blue lace agate is kind of hard to find, and this whole piece is that it's with clear quartz crystal. So these pieces of quartz crystal are, of course, points. And so again, this is a statement piece. I mean, this the pendant itself here is about, from the bail, which is what we call the hanging piece, all the way down is about 3.5 inches. So the pendant itself is quite predominant. But these two pieces I've had for a long time, and I just love them. They are faceted. We call them briolets because of the shape. And so the drilling is done at the tip of it, and they're like teardrops. So I really love this piece. I hope that the color comes through because this is the most precious sky blue. And it feels like a crown to me. It just feels like royalty, something that would be worn, again, in ceremony. I mean, it really feels like a very celebratory piece. And this is, I believe, 18 and a half too, but I'll measure this one real quick. No, this is 20. So this is a
Okay,
little bit
it's beautiful.
longer.
I love that. I think that's my favorite too. They're all so beautiful and unique. Wow. In ceremony, ceremonial tools. This is our regalia, our
So
crystal regalia.
yeah, so here's another piece that is very special because turquoise, especially U.S. turquoise, is hard to find now. And there's a lot of turquoise out there that isn't turquoise, that's sold as turquoise. They can legally call it that only because of the color. But these stones are mined in the US. Exactly where, I'm not sure, but most of it is from the Southwest. A lot of it is from Arizona. And it's so well admired, loved, and known in the US and the Southwest that much of the turquoise is sold based on the mine that it's from now. Like it will be called by the mine where it was mined because it has a lot of uniqueness to it. But this is very beautiful chunks, and and then small pieces up here, and that I use the large silver. And this, of course, has a very Southwestern flair to it, but it also feels very Egyptian to me. This piece, when I was putting it together, I really felt the Isis energy in it. So I really feel like this piece could be anything, but it feels very much like goddess energy. Just absolutely, there's no question about it. And it doesn't matter, it could be worn by a man or a woman. It doesn't matter. It's just that it's definitely got the goddess infused in it. And by the way, Lauren, every piece, every stone, every piece, whether it's metal or silver or stone, has been blessed, has been cleansed with sage. And then when I'm building my pieces, I always have background that is something that is infusing these stones. It's either light language or solfeggio, or I've got frequencies going that are helping to purify these stones so that the person who receives them will be able to also program the stones themselves with intention. So this is a carved piece of jade, and this is a dragon that's double-sided here. So both sides have the carving on it. And these stones, also very unusual coloration of what we call ruby zoisite. So it's the edges of where the ruby is mined. The rubies we saw earlier, of course, were red or magenta. These have green and red mix. So if you can see the stones in here, they're really beautiful, and they're bicone. So they're very nice, unusual shape. This is just dragon energy, pure dragon energy. And this is an old piece of jade. Some of the jade that I have carved is new jade, but it happens to be an old piece of jade. And really a beautiful pendant in itself. I mean, this is, of course, also the length of this adds to the length. So this is 18 inches, and this is going to add another 4 onto that. So you could have this long, but it would be, if it was on a female, it would be right across the breast. So this is just, will hang a little bit above that. So that's the dragon.
Wow, that one's cool. I know dragons are really beloved. And as we become aware of dragons, our own dragons, this is a cool tool as well.
Yeah,
Dragons are coming back in popularity.
oh yeah. Well, they're amongst us. There's no question. I mean, I have a dream not just maybe a month ago where I was leaning up against this weird texture, and it was pure white background. I could feel it. I turned around and I thought it was a wall, and it was a giant white dragon that I was just kind of nonchalantly leaning up against.
Oh,
And that
wow.
particular dragon has now visited me multiple times. I just feel a really
I think
wonderful.
it's your dragon.
Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
a pure white dragon too.
Yes.
Now this is very unusual for me, but this is, I couldn't resist this pendant This is Our Lady of Guadalupe, which of course, having lived in the Southwest, I'm extremely close to. I mean, she's everywhere. She's painted on walls. She's on people's front doorsteps. And she's all over. And the tradition around her and the miracles attributed to her and the roses are such, it's so special. So this is gold plated and silver plated. And then, well, it's actually gold plate on sterling. So it's not silver plated. It's sterling silver with gold plating. And then I paired her with these gorgeous gold pearls. I just love these pearls, and I can't get those anymore. I don't know exactly how to get them, but they're golden pearls that are mixed in with gold beads, and of course some silver beads as well. So this piece is very short. This is a choker length, and that's all gold and silver, basically. Very little stone, pearls and silver. And then this next piece is also, you know, in traditions. This is a cross that's carved. A beautiful. I mean, this is about 1/3 of an inch thick, if you will. So this is a large, and this is prehnite. So this is a very I love this stone. It's a beautiful color. And I've mixed this necklace with moonstone. So if you know moonstone, moonstone has every iridescent to it. Just beautiful coloration. And this is prehnite with moonstone. And the what I love about this cross is the raw material that it's made out of. I mean, you can see that. You can see that it has, it's, you know, it's just as it is. It's not been perfected, if you will. I just loved that it was kind of left with some of its, the formation that it was in left attached to it. So it's not perfect, if you will. And that's one of the things that I love about the stones, is that they're not perfect. They're perfect as they are, but they have their imperfections just like we do.
And do they have more energy if they're not as perfected or polished or tumbled?
Well, I don't know. I think that probably people would argue about that one, because if something is beautifully faceted, like a really pure gemstone, of course, it probably loves that, because it displays it and kind of intensifies its magnificence, if you will. But I love nuggets. I love pieces that are shaped simply by either being weathered naturally, or by the ocean, or by a tumbler, and then the shape comes out and it is as it is. So I tend to really love nuggets. And I love faceted. I love them all. I mean, I love the faceted stones as well. But this is very rare piece. This is major pieces of beautiful amber. And amber is something that has become, in my lifetime, has become like a precious stone. I mean, it's really highly sought after now. And much of it is from Russia. A lot of it is from Russia, but this is tree resin, as you know. So amber is, and so every one of those is incredibly unique. And you can see that within it are fossilized pieces of either bugs or little stems or leaves. So this is a very rare piece. And this pendant itself is actually a very vintage piece. I mean, I know that this pendant is probably at least 40 years old, but possibly much older than that.
Beautiful.
And that's
Wow.
all I added to this was some Swarovski crystals in between just to space the amber. And some of these pieces of amber, if you can see them up close, are just phenomenal what they have inside of them. I mean, you can stare at this and go into meditation and just, there's like a whole forest within a stone.
And I just have to say the value, Niki, what an incredible value and a great deal that you're offering. If each of these pizzas that you're showing us here is $211, and some of these are very rare and they're each unique, wow, these are pieces of art and they're antiques.
Some of them, yeah, for sure. I mean, that particular, that amber, absolutely. And the coral, those would be the two that are, to me, you know, really rare. And for that reason, too, actually very valuable. Now, this piece I just love. This is the longest piece I made for your collection. And I believe this is 22 inches we can measure. But this is a carved abalone. Just a beautiful carving and cutting done of a sea turtle. And the sea turtle has 4 stars carved on his back, if you can see. There's a lot of reflection, I know, but so this is all pearl, and these are gray pearls. These are freshwater pearls and abalone. So this whole thing is pearl and abalone with some shell. I used some silver shells because this is so ocean-like. And this is a very long piece. So this piece will hit like mid-breast, mid-chest, and kind of over the heart chakra. And I'm a real turtle person. So this is, when I was 5 years old, I got to ride on a tortoise, and that has stuck with me so much my whole life. So that's that collection. That's the collection that is 211 for each piece. And I called that the Divine Feminine Collection.
The Divine Feminine Collection.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And the next grouping is also, there's 11 pieces. So there were 11 pieces in the Divine Feminine, and there's also 11 pieces in this one I called Aquarian Adornments because I felt it was very much part of the Aquarian age. And and these are 157 each. And so I'm gonna show you these one at a time. Some of them, it's easier to see on a white background and some on a black. So this is also, I'm going to measure this before I even start talking about it. This one is about 18 and a half again. So it's not a choker, but it has no pendant. It's, this is sea sediment jasper. So this whole pendant down here, if you will, is all made of chunks of sea sediment. And see if I can get close enough for you to kind of see that. So there's a gradation, if you will, where they get smaller on the sides. And then I've put bronze in here just because the bronze within the stones themselves, it just complements that so beautifully. And then this is turquoise, and this is turquoise. And this is a green turquoise, which is usually African. And then this is a blue turquoise, which is more likely from the US. And so that's all stone and with a little bit of bronze thrown in, which I just love the color of those bronze beads. So that's the first piece of that grouping. And then here is a carved Kuan Yin. Now she's jade as well. And I'll bring this up. She's really beautiful. So the pendant itself on this is about almost 3 inches, 2 3/4 inches, and very beautifully carved. It's flat on this side, not reversible, so it lays flat on the body. And then these are faceted, what we call rondelles. So it's a flat round stone, if you will, and that's all Amazonite. So that's Amazonite with jade. And then little heart silver beads. So that's the second one in that collection.
Oh, I just love each of these. All of these are so beautiful.
Oh,
My goodness, they're each one of a kind.
now this one is really stunning. This is a piece of rutilated quartz set in a silver. Let me get it straight here. So this is a lot of quartz here. So this is a piece of rutilated quartz, and the rutilated quartz has those lines going through it. So they're always just random lines. And the pendant itself, of course, is faceted. My birds are excited because I'm talking. Whenever I talk, they need to talk. And then smoky quartz. So these are faceted as well, if you can see. Each one's faceted. And then these silver beads are see-through, so that when they're on you, they kind of show the color of whatever you're wearing. And then these are also rutilated quartz on the top that are cut, and they're in a very unusual shape, but each one is cut and faceted. So this is another really quite a statement piece. And this one is 21 inches. So it's a long piece. And then next we have a piece of Amazonite. This Amazonite is also a faceted stone. So you can see, I don't know if you can see the faceting of that stone, but I just love the shape of it. It's an off shape, so it's not symmetrical. It's a little asymmetrical. And then that is a piece of peridot on top of it. So there is Amazonite pendant with peridot, and then these are all beautiful quartz crystal. I love these little quartz crystal beads and faceted flat Amazonite beads. This is another long piece, and this is I just love Amazonite. I mean, I can't even describe the color. It's that aquamarine. And I'm going to measure this.
Yes, I love that. That's actually my birthstone. So that's good. It's if we know about birthstones or stones for us, these are powerful to wear.
So this is 22 inches. So this is quite a long one. This is, I think that the turtle, which is the longest piece I made, is actually 24, and this one is 22. Okay, so then we have, this is a piece of turquoise that I've had for many, many years. This was from the Southwest, from when I lived there, which is about 25 years ago. And so this is all, this is just a chunk of turquoise. So this is a green turquoise. And the thing about turquoise is that it's like a life of its own. I mean, it's like you can fall into it. You know, some of the things that we attribute turquoise to is grounding, really using it for feeling like you're connected to Mother Earth. And then this has all turquoise, and these are actually large chips. So every piece is a different shape. And so that's all turquoise with a pendant without metal. And some people really prefer a pendant that doesn't have the silver on it, because the stone is right up against your body. I mean, the whole stone is right up against you. So you're really feeling the stone and getting the full effect of the stone.
And again, this series that you're showing, $157. Wow.
Yeah,
they're so beautiful. How do we decide?
Speaking of this is really a good deal for $157. This is a druzy quartz. So druzy simply means that when it's cut, instead of polishing it, you can see the crystal formations on it. So it's as if the little stalactites are still remain with the crystal. So, you know, it's those crystals have grown naturally. And so then this was just put into a beautiful silver setting, a little bit ornate with spirals on it. And then I set that with faceted ruby again. And then pieces of clear crystal quartz. So I love this because just the rubies on this, I just think are so stunning. I just love the color. And then
the
having
sparkles of the druzy. Wow.
Yeah, the druzy is great because it'll catch the light at every angle. We go to a very unusual piece. So this is, I think I'm going to get the larger neck here for these bigger pieces so we don't have them. Now this is a really stunning pendant. So this has, this quartz has been heated to give it that coloration, if you can see that. And it's got these greens in it. They do that with heating. Then this is just a big pearl. This is a piece of smoky quartz, faceted. And then we have a ammonite fossil. So I don't know if you can see the ammonite, but I just love the ammonite, and to know that that creature's been around for however, I mean, I'm so bad with the ages, but let's just say long time.
Half a million years, half a million years. Yes.
And then what I paired this with is, this is all shell heishi, and we call it heishi when it's cut really thin like that. That's very labor intensive to cut heishi. So each one of these is just a little tiny flat bead. And then up here is carnelian and smoky quartz. So this is another very much of a statement piece. I mean, this is not for the faint of heart. This piece, you know, it's worn with pride. And again, it's about 20, this is about 22 inches. So that's another fairly long piece. And then we have another I have 4 more in this collection carved. They're all carved pieces. And so this is another dragon piece. This is a beautiful piece of lavender jade. So the color of this is just stunning. It's very pastel. It's a little bit varied. There's a little bit of green on one side and a little, mostly purple on the other. So it's a little varied. And then this is fluorite. That's the first time you've seen fluorite today. So these fluorite, it comes in all kinds of colors, but this is purple, mostly purple and green are the most common ones. And then I paired that with this beautiful moonstone again, which, by the way, is another major goddess stone. I mean, in the Egyptian culture, the moonstone was the stone of the goddess because the moon is the female. And so these moonstones are really stunning. They're very opalescent. You can kind of see that, I think, on the screen, but just beautiful pieces. And this is another ceremonial piece in my belief, just something that you would wear on a very special occasion. And that's a 20-inch piece. And purple, which is, you know, purple is not easy to get in jewelry. And then here's a really special piece for me is when I was recently in Kauai, because my kids moved to Kauai with my grandbaby, the fish hook is a very sacred symbol. And in fact, I bought a fish hook, a carved fish hook piece for my son-in-law, which he adores and wears all the time. It's a very masculine symbol. And, you know, it's their their livelihood was dependent on the sea. And so the fish hook is a really powerful symbol. And if you saw the Disney movie Moana,
Oh, yeah.
the main character, who was Maui, his fish hook was his power. And so that's very symbolic of that tradition in the islands people. And so this is a piece of jade, a very beautiful kind of, I don't even know, this creamy kind of orange color. And then I paired that with, this is jade as well. And this is jade as well. So these are all three different types of jade. And these flat faceted beads feel fabulous on. And then I've used the little spiral snails to go with the little fish hook there. So this is another piece. This one is more like 18, not quite as long. It's exactly 18 inches. And then I have my dolphin. So we have this dolphin piece, which is carved of Amazonite. This is a very delicate piece. This is much less large a pendant than the others. This pendant is, but it's a beautiful dolphin carving. I think it was just really well done. And that's, I paired that with just more Amazonite and long tube quartz crystals. And that one is 18 inches as well in this Aquarian. Yeah, this is 18. And then one more in this 11. This is the 11th. And this is a beautiful goddess, carved goddess. And she has a piece of iolite set in her pendant. And that iolite is a beautiful blue. I'm going to let it fall forward so you can maybe see the color better. Beautiful blue. And then very ornate bail. She has a little bead on her third eye. And then this is all bone. So this entire necklace is bone. These are bone. This is bone that's been polished. This is not stone, it's bone. And then these are reconstituted. So this is stone that's then poured into little elephant molds. So I don't know if you can see those, each of those little beads are elephants. And also she is, I think she's more like 19 inches.
Ooh, beautiful goddess energy
Yeah,
in that one.
Yeah, she's 20 inches. So she's that same in between the choker length and the next kind of step down, the 18 inch. And now the last collection is I think very affordable for everyone. And that's why I wanted to be able to make some that were. Are you ready for me to go with the next grouping?
Oh, yes. And the price point of this is even lower. What is this price point?
88.
Ooh, 88. So 3 levels here. Oh my gosh, they're just so beautiful.
And I
For
call
our
these,
group.
Yeah, this is the goddess goodness. So I'm going to go a little faster here. And I'm going to put one black and one white, and then I'm going to hang it on whichever I think will complement it best. So here we go. So this is a piece of zebra jasper. And I love zebra jasper. It's just black and white, and so we call it zebra. And it's got a, what I used here was, so there's all these there's all these terms, but this is, again, a pendant with no metal except for this skinny little bail. So I wanted this to be able to lay against the body. And then these are pieces of snowflake jasper. And this is called Picasso jasper. So those little heart bears, which are very popular in the Southwest, and that's what they're called, are heart bears. Each one is different, but that's what I've used. So there's actually three different stones in here. And that's another 18-inch piece, but with that pendant, that's going to make that at least 20 inches long. And then next we have, I'm going to jump to this. I only have one Labradorite too, which is really rare. So this is, talk about Egyptian, right? This piece really reminds me of Egyptian. But I love that this, can you see the colors good there? Earthy tone of the jasper. And these are, well, it's called picture jasper, but actually what it looks like is a mountainside to me. It's like you can just see all of these formations in there. And then I paired that with a stone I just love that's called poppy jasper. And that's because of its color. But I just love these, and they're, again, variegated. And so this is, to me, a very Egyptian piece just because of it's all stone. You know, again, there's no metal, and that the way that that pendant lays. This is, this piece is a little over 18 inches. And so next we have a piece, the only Labradorite in all three of these collections is this one. Now, Labradorite, I know I keep saying what my favorites are, but I have to say that hands down, Labradorite is one of my favorite stones. I mean, it's got the rainbow in there. It has every color in the rainbow in it. Labradorite is, let me tell you what I wrote down. I wanted to also share with you the sources that I use, because there's three different sources that I rely on. So I have, Labradorite for me is the stone of exploration. It really helps for people to individualize who they are and have their own unique quality. The other thing that it's known for is connecting to other worlds. So it is, and some of the, I think all of that's related, because if someone's a nonconformist and an explorer, they're going to have their galactic connections as well, right? So that's really what it's talking about, I think, is just being a free spirit, someone who is unique and not afraid to step out into the world and be themselves. And so you can see a lot of the iridescence in this. I mean, Labradorite just has so much amazing beauty to it. And these are sterling beads that I use. These are not plated. This is sterling silver beads, along with nuggets and round Labradorite beads. And the length on that one is, again, a 20-inch. So that's a longer one. Now this is pure chunks of amethyst. And this is the first amethyst piece we've seen as well. Amethyst is more of a common stone. The reason I love this piece is because of these chunks. I mean, this is some serious pieces of stone here. And so these are all different shapes. They have all kinds of, you can see that it's what we call impurities, but I just love it because of that, because it's got all of these pieces just as it lived in the ground. And then I paired that with some beautiful iridescent check beads. I just love the way the color of those check beads went with this amethyst. And the amethyst is, again, it's about 19-inch piece. Now here's some more prehnite, and here's another Kuan Yin. So I'm going to hold this. It's a much more delicate Kuan Yin. This pendant itself is about 1 3/4 inches high. And again, this will be up against the body. Now this is moonstone with a lot of quartz crystal. I just put in a whole lot of crystal points here. And we have, again, some spirals. I used those spiral beads twice in the collection I did for Quantum Conversations and Loren, because I just love the spiral design. And then here's another piece with fluorite. Again, we have the blues, the turquoise, the purple, and the green. The purple and green, which are complementary colors, and I just love together. Now that is, this pendant can be, you can switch this out. This is made so that you can put any, what we call a donut on there. I wouldn't do that, but anyway, you can do that if you wanted to add. This is some really beautiful fluorite, and the greens and the purples in this are all varied. And again, this has sterling beads, not plated. Those are sterling. And this is the only necklace that is rhodochrosite, which is a beautiful, beautiful pink stone with lovely designs in there of the circles, concentric circles, looks like waves. And then I used all rhodochrosite beads with some silver heart beads. This piece, very delicate, very light, very easy to wear, is 20 inches, 21 inches actually. And the fluorite piece, just so you know, is 18 inches. Now we have, reach over here. This piece is all onyx with some beautiful lampwork gold painted ceramic beads. So onyx, deep, deep jet black, shiny, and it has some faceted and some round onyx beads. Beautiful piece, really feels good to wear. Very much of a friendly piece, can be worn with anything and just feels so nice and secure and heavy on the neck. Now this piece again is turquoise with bronze. I did put the bronze in with this just because I love the bronze with the bronze. And then these are some really large, beautiful green turquoise beads. And I love the angel wings. I've never used these before, but I found these and I just had to get them. So they're like a variegated bronze, and a lot of green, very earthy, even though it's angel wings. Now these are two pieces that both have a pendant, a silver pendant, a silver setting. This is on the white mannequin is a beautiful sunstone, and I love this sunstone. It just reflects. You can see the crystal pieces in there reflecting the light, but it is very much connected to the sun. And this particular pendant just has massive solar energy connected to it. I mean, you can feel that. And also, what I added to this was some white pearls, because this setting, this pendant has a pearl in it. So these are two, it's kind of like the sun and the ocean beautifully connected. And then those are all sunstone and pearl beads with a few filigree see-through silver beads as well. And then this is a Botswana agate. The Botswana agate is probably some of the most stunning agate. I know that people collect agate. I used to be able to collect agate on the Pacific Ocean, up in the Pacific, around the redwoods in the northern part of California when I was a kid. And this agate is from Africa. And then I paired this beautiful, this is about 1.75 inches, that's about a 2-inch pendant, with a faceted smoky quartz, which are these, and a beautiful picture jasper, the same. It's a different stone than the pendant, which is agate, but very complementary. And there's a lot of, actually, I'm sorry, that's citrine. That's not smoky quartz. That's citrine beads up here. And the pendant itself, as you can see, if I hold it to the light, is the light shines through beautifully. And that piece again is 19-inch.
Okay, gorgeous.
And then this is a shark's tooth, literally. That's a small shark tooth. And that's a choker. So that's about 16.5 inches. I measured that last night. And that's got some Tibetan silver, square Tibetan silver beads that are carved or stamped, and then mother of pearl. And in between are gold Swarovski crystals. And that is a little piece of druzy, also that's heated to be a bronze color. That's a shorter piece, like I said, about 16.5 inches. And then this is very unusual color piece. And this is a quartz, but it's naturally this green color, and it looks very solar again to me. I mean, it just looks like the sun emanating out. And again, it's paired with a couple of biwa pearls, the one gray and one white. So up here we have the pearls repeating, and also this greenstone is aventurine. So that's first time we've seen aventurine, but that's beautiful green, green solar stone that you can see is translucent. You can see the light through it. Beautiful piece. And then we have the first strawberry quartz and only strawberry quartz that I did. So this is a piece of Botswana agate again. So this pendant is beautiful red Botswana agate. And I paired that with, turn the veil over, with what we call strawberry quartz. So these are strawberry quartz, large, like 1-inch teardrops. And the smaller beads are also strawberry quartz.
And that's amazing that that's in the $88 category. That is beautiful.
Yeah, that's a lovely piece. I love that Botswana agate too. And so here we go with this is a really good deal for the $88 course. I've had these beads for ages, and these are very spectacular because you can see the cutout. So they have stars cut out of them. So these are really lovely, lovely. These are bone. This is quartz. And then this pendant is, I'm going to flip it over so you can see. It's the year of the dragon. So it has the years written on it. I've had this pendant for probably 30 years. And it has 1940, 1952, 64, 76, and 88. So those are, it was, well, it was made in 88. So what's that make it like? Probably almost 30 years old. Anyway, that's
31.
Yeah,
31.
I've had this for probably 26, 27 years,
And
maybe.
so that's perfect if someone is born in the year of the dragon.
Yeah, I am, and my kids were, and yeah, um,
Your kids were?
mhm. Yeah,
That's pretty special.
yeah,
Actually, my son and I share the same. Okay.
yeah.
All
It
right.
happens a lot because I think it's a familial thing. It's funny, but anyway, and then so this is all bone um, and bone. Now I can't say this is ivory. There was, a time when ivory was used a lot, of course, and now ivory's been banned for many, many years. But anyway, that is an old piece, and um, and also kind of this is one of the more shorter pieces. Again, this piece is no, I'm not. It's 20 inches. So, and now this is a biwa pearl. These pearls are heated so that they'll blister. So it's really beautiful because it creates these formations of pearl within the pearl. And then here's the back side. It's beautiful. It's mother of pearl. And these are mother of pearl. And again, I paired it with hearts because it's a heart. And this is mother of pearl. So this whole thing is pearl. You can see those little bumps on it. Pearl is my birthstone, but I just love pearls. I mean, any freshwater pearl, any kind of pearl. I love pearls. They bring peace. They bring calm. They're very calming. I don't know if that has to do with the water element, but I just love pearl. And then this is very unique piece because of these little beads. Now this is a piece of Tibetan sterling. So that's a flower, a Tibetan flower. And then I put carnelian inside of these little silver. So you can see that. And the thing, I love carnelian. I know Judy Callie recently did a goddess carnelian presentation, and it was just so stunning because she talked about the goddess carnelian coming forward and the stone. And so these are very variegated carnelian pieces. And I just love the Bali and the Tibetan silver because they just decorate it so beautifully. So this is a very kind of unique piece. And that is a shorter piece. It really is a shorter piece. That one's 19 inches. Or no, I'm sorry, 17 inches. So that's a little below a choker length. Now here's a citrine piece. This one is a lot of citrine. And like Loren was saying, citrine is known as the stone of prosperity. And that's a chunk of citrine, if you see as the pendant. So sort of free-formed the way it is. And then it has these beautiful faceted citrine beads that I just adore. And you can see these are large faceted. And then I also paired it with citrine nuggets. And then speaking of goddess, here's another carved goddess. And this is a very sweet, delicate. And the way I thought about her was that she's holding up the sky. So if you can see here, it's a goddess carving out of bone. And then I have her paired with lapis and sodalite. So these stones are sodalite and the stars are made out of lapis. And they're each one of those. So it feels like she's holding up the sky and holding up the stars. And this is all lapis sodalite and then the carved bone. And she is, I just want to show you her up close because she has the heart between her legs.
I know. That's what I saw. That is so precious.
And the stars, each of these lapis beads are carved into a star shape. And she's very, very lightweight and easy to wear and delicate, if you will. And then we have 3 more. I have the only rose quartz piece in the collection is a fox. And this fox is just so precious. Oh, wait, let me see. Yeah, there we go. So there's a carved rose quartz fox. The fox is about 2.5 inches tall. And then this whole necklace is rose quartz. It's small rose quartz, larger rose quartz, and carved flowers out of rose quartz. So that whole piece is rose quartz. This is the only piece of snowflake that I used. So this pendant is obsidian, and it has a piece of clear quartz within that ornate design, which I just love. It looks like sacred geometry to me. And then this is jasper. So this is obsidian, and this is jasper, quartz, and jasper. And there's quite a bit of quartz up here too. And this one I put a very special clasp on. It's a grape leaf. And then the toggle is made of grapes and grape leaves. And this piece is 17 inches. And then the last piece is my whale. And this is the only piece that I made of hematite. So this is hematite.
Ooh, and for those who don't know, hematite is better than aspirin. It's very healing, pain relief.
Yeah. And has a really strong magnetic quality. So it's very, shall we say, it brings prosperity to you. It brings people to you. It's very magnetic. And then to top it off, it's a whale. So like what could be more magnetic, right? And then I paired it with these beautiful purple freshwater pearls. And this is all hematite, 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 hematite. All the way up here is all hematite. So, and then the pearls and the starfish. And this piece is actually quite heavy for its size. I mean, the hematite is substantial. And again, we'll draw good things to you. And that's it. That's the last piece, the fox and the whale.
Well, what a shopping extravaganza. And this is so perfect for our group because these are each one of a kind, as we said. They're so beautiful. We can feel the energy from each of these pieces. And so if it calls to your heart, go ahead and place an order for one of these items, those 3 categories that we mentioned. And Niki, did you want to add anything else about that for how people place this order? Because when they place the order, you're going to connect with them and they're going to let you know which one they like. And then
Right. And
if one sells out, like if 2 people want the same one, you've got a plan for that.
Well, and if people want to ask me questions, we'll make it so that Loren can connect you to me. So I can answer questions both about the quality of the stone. I mean, what qualities they possess, in my opinion, about, because we didn't have really enough time to do all of that today. But if you want to ask about that, the length, I can shorten a piece. I cannot lengthen a piece. So if I have a 20-inch piece that you want to be 17, I can do that. I will shorten them. I cannot lengthen them because they're one of a kind and I don't have more of those stones often. And the other thing I just wanted to throw out there is that I can do a custom piece. And if I do a custom piece, we'll have to exchange information and do emails or a phone conversation. And so we can pick the price point that you would like to do. But any of the pieces that you saw today are only available here. And with the, I mean, I know a lot of people shop for the holiday. And so with the holiday coming up, we still have plenty of time for me to be able to ship and get them to you in time. So yeah,
well, this has been a beautiful episode of QCTV. It really is our own little shopping network that we have here. And so if you love these designs, if anything, anyone particular reaches out to you or jumps out to you, please check out the special offer that's available. Very simple with this 3 tiers of prices. You've seen all of those. And this is really goddess goodies. Niki Greenfield, thank you for your Niki's Gem Creations. Thanks for being here, Niki.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. Access all quantum conversations, special offers from our guests, and online healing retreats by visiting acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. We leave you now with music from the universe. Music literally created by the universe, as musical notes were assigned to mathematical equations. The result is this beautiful music, available at acoustichealth.com. Namaste.